The way I want to just turn to this cricket and be like, hey, cut it out. It doesn't listen.
You can't hear it in the recording, though. It's fine.
You can if when I have my headphones on, I can hear them.
Really?
Yeah. Now, granted, it's so repetitive, I do think your brain will, like, tune it out.
Yeah.
But I can hear it.
That's funny. Sorry to all of our headphone wearers, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like backwoods ambiance, except it's a single cricket. That's all we could afford.
This episode of Who Is My Doctor takes place down in the bayou.
The bayou, I mean bayou.
We're right next to you. Turn to your right. There we are. Nope, keep turning. Didn't turn far enough.
You gotta turn all the way around, 360.
If you don't see us, it's because you were too slow. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. I'm your host, Zach, and I know a lot about Doctor Who.
And I'm also your host, Cassie. And Zach, what are we doing today?
Today we are not watching an episode of the show. We are watching sort of a compilation of moments from various episodes.
That's right. A compilation you made yourself.
Not entirely true.
So sorry, everyone at home. You can't watch this one.
Well, again, that's not entirely true. It is 80% someone else's work. I have tacked on about another. It was original. So Doctor Who Confidential was a show that was on BBC Three, and it was basically a behind the scenes of each Doctor Who episode.
Okay.
And it's the very last Doctor Who Confidential. The show kind of kept going. They changed the name to Doctor Who Inside, I think is what it was called. But
That's worse.
But Doctor Who Confidential's last episode with that name was at the end of Series 6, which was after the wedding of River Song. And as part of that, they had a segment in the middle that was about 12 minutes long called River Song, Her Story, where they had Alex Kingston narrate through River Song's timeline from her perspective.
Uh-huh.
And I remembered that and was like, that would be a great thing for us to watch as like here is this story again, but from the way she experienced it.
You misremembered it as being after the Christmas episode.
Or at least after Series 7. Because what we just saw was the only thing with Capaldi. Like there wasn't anything that happened in the last two series with River Song.
Oh, a question I had the last episode and I forgot to ask it.
Okay.
Did Clara ever meet River?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. At the very end of Matt Smith's run, before she dove into the Doctor's timeline.
Yeah. That's right, with the giant TARDIS gravestone.
Yeah, there's basically River is projecting herself from the library to like guide them through into the TARDIS. As I was saying, this came out at the end of Series 6. I really wanted to use it, if only because it's got Alex Kingston narrating it. Like there are compilations on YouTube, even on Doctor Who's own like YouTube channel, where they have assembled the story in order. But it's like an hour and a half long, and it's just clips from the show put together. This narration isn't there, and I really, really wanted for that narration to be there, and also because we don't need to sit here for an hour and a half to experience every single second of it. We can just because we've already sat through all of it. We don't need to do that again.
You made me sit through hour and a half's worth of worse stuff, though.
Well, what I mean is also This is also a truly edited compilation. This isn't just like shot by shot by shot. This is someone wrote the story as River tells it. So there's a flow. So it's like an actual edited flow. The thing on YouTube is just
from the Doctor's perspective.
The thing on YouTube is just the clips in order. There is no flow to it. There's nothing.
Okay.
But you are correct. But as you pointed out, this came after Series 6. So there were 3 episodes that River was in that were not in the compilation. It was Amy and Rory's last episode, The Angels Take Manhattan. It was Matt Smith's last episode before his last Christmas special, or before the last 2 specials, because he had the 50th anniversary and his Christmas special. That had River in it, and of course the Husbands of River Song that we just watched. So I did my best job as an editor to add those into this according to where they fall in her timeline. I think I did a pretty okay job. it doesn't matter too much because not like anyone else is gonna have to watch this.
Unless you really want to.
Even then, I don't know that I can legally put it on Patreon because, 3/4 of it is the BBC's work.
I mean, it would be more just
really 100% of his BBC's work, and then just I did some light editing to it.
It would just be somebody emailing you saying, I would like to see that, please. Please show your work.
Yeah, but so it ends up, I took it from about a 12-minute short to about a 16-minute short, so I added about 4 minutes to it.
Okay.
And I didn't add a whole lot of the Husbands of River song because we just watched it.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like we needed that refresher, but I did still put a little bit in there. But obviously there's not going to be any profacies for this episode because we've already watched it. But are you expecting anything, to feel anything, seeing it from her perspective? Are you expecting to have like a change in perspective? Do you have any thoughts going into this?
I've answered this question a dozen times, Zach. I don't have any expectations ever.
Well, you sounded a little excited about hearing it.
Yes, because I like River's song, and I am upset that we aren't getting any more of her anytime soon. So having just watched the Husbands of River song, I understand why we are not getting any more. Mm-hmm. That being said, I don't know what you would want to. More Alex Kingston, I guess. Hooray.
I mean, there's a channel I follow on YouTube called Who Culture, who talks about Doctor Who news and stories.
What a couple of nerds.
And they one of the girls, it's a girl and a guy, I believe, that run the channel. And the girl, whenever brings up River Song, her name is always River Song, the best character.
Yes.
And so I do feel like there's a part of it's just like, yeah,
I concur.
I do think there's a part of it where it's just like, yeah, you bring her back because she's a good character that's fun to write for. And she makes stories more interesting.
Yes. I thought, like I said, and as a Gemini, I can see both sides. That doesn't necessarily mean I like it, mm-hmm. but I understand it.
You want more, but at the same time, you understand you had your cake.
It's in the same way of like when I'm really on one, when like in terms of like I want a sweet treat, and I finally I get whatever. I go to the store and I buy myself a candy bar, mm-hmm. and I eat that candy bar, and I'm like, oh, that was the best a candy bar has ever tasted. But I still I have given my brain that little bit of sugar that it wanted. Mm-hmm. And I recognize that there is no more candy bar, but brain is still like, no, you gave us some, you gave it.
I think I'll eat it now.
You gave us some before. Why don't you give us more now? And that also might be a sign of a sugar addiction.
And that's why she says, hello, sweetie.
Oh, full circle. I'm a broken record. I get it. I am happy that this is going to be the last little bit. And it kind of like when you watch a movie and you're really like, you love the movie. And then behind the scenes start coming out and you're just like, oh, I love that movie even more now. Mm-hmm. I already liked the movie, but now every little thing that comes out, reinforces my love for that movie or my love for that thing in that movie. Mm-hmm. So in this case, it's I would consider myself a Doctor Who or a Whovian just for River Song, and that is it.
River Song, Weeping Angels, K9.
River Song.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, River Song, Weeping Angels, K9, Daleks, because I genuinely have been considering getting one of the concept art Daleks mm-hmm. as a tattoo mm-hmm. because they're so goofy. They're just so silly looking.
And
everything else, I hate.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things where I would have liked to see her interact with Jodie or Ncuti, just because I feel like they both would have had, like, both of them for different reasons would have had a very fun dynamic with River.
I'm sure that there's somebody who's written a fanfic.
Yeah. Oh, there's undoubtedly. There's definitely a fanfic that involves River and each of the Doctors, and probably some OCs they've made up.
Yeah.
But yes, this is River Song's story. This is a slightly updated version of River Song, her story from the last episode of Doctor Who Confidential. But otherwise, I think we're going to get into this, and we'll see how you feel about seeing her story from her perspective as we watch River Song's story.
River story.
Melody Pond song.
Story song. Songs. Song.
Song of an old man down by the river. This episode of Who Is My Doctor is brought to you by Backyard Box. Are you tired of only getting junk mail like credit card applications, glossy retail catalogs, and jury duty summons? Why not get junk mail that's actual junk? Hi, I'm Billy Bojangles, the CEO, founder, and forager for Backyard Box. Each month, I go wandering out into the woods in my backyard to make you a box of whatever I find back there. Sticks, leaves, rocks, whatever I find, it's all yours. Once I found a doggy and sent him in the box. There's no telling what you might get. Dirt, mud, the carcass of a dead bird. This forest really has it all. So don't spend more time dreading junk mail. Pay for it as a subscription service. Backyard Box. Maybe one day I'll find Bigfoot. And we are back from the story of River Song.
Our shortest episode yet.
Aside from the assorted actual shorts we've watched.
Yes, but they were all new information.
Yeah, or it was like a comedy bit or something like that.
This is just a recap of me going, I forgot about that.
Oh, that happened in this order?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I forgot momentarily. I remember how her story ends. Mm-hmm. And how I remember our introduction is the end of her story. Yeah, basically.
Is when she dies.
Is when her physical body dies. It's all the icky, sticky bits in the middle that I completely...
And I'm sure you also remember when you found out River Song was Melody Pond.
Yes.
Which is really, I think, not the beginning of her story, but it certainly feels like that's where River Song becomes like a full rounded character.
Well, yeah, because we are seeing her when she is born.
Yeah. So how do you... I mean, I will say one downside to it being told this way is that there's no like real emotional through line besides her romance with the Doctor, because the story is about our main story is about the Doctor.
Yes.
So
we don't get to see a lot of River Song existing outside of the context of River Song. We get a lot of story clues, like her walking back into her prison cell saying, "Turn those alarms off. I'm breaking in this time."
I'm back. Or, when she goes from just being River Song to Professor River Song to Dr. River Song. Like there's a progression of her in that timeline as well.
So there is a part of me that does really wish that we could see moments where she perhaps would have expected the Doctor to show up, and when he didn't, how she got herself out of these situations or into situations.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had made like an actual like episode like doing these moments as opposed to just stitching together the parts of the story. But for what it is, I do think it's nice. And
it's the same circle of events of it's nice that we don't have a conclusion on what those other stories might have been.
Yeah.
Because now that means that it is open for interpretation.
Like we still don't know who Jim the Fish is. Yeah.
Anybody can step in and say, well, this is what I think was happening. And it doesn't matter what you say because it's not nothing. None of what my fantasy imagination brain is saying has been confirmed canon. Therefore, it is all true.
Yeah. Everything is canon except nothing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel, watching it this way, I was confused
because it took me a hot second to register. Oh, this is how it is happening.
Yes.
This is what is going on.
Yeah, you're sitting there having to remember what each episode was.
Remember what each episode was, and also contextualizing where it is in the Doctor's story progression, but then watching it out of order in the correct order for River. This is something, I'm not going to make us do it, but if we were going to try to unpack it and really have a lot to talk about, I would have had to watch this like 3 more times.
Yeah, or we would have had to watch the much longer version that I really didn't want us to have to do.
If
the only things that you really miss are like those moments where Amy's baby turns into vanilla pudding because it's not really Melody. They made a fake baby. You know, some of the like you don't really have to see all the moments between Amy and River reacting to the Weeping Angels during that first Matt Smith Weeping Angel episode. Like we just get, there's a lot of stuff where it's truly the full experience is this much longer version, but it's also like we don't need you and I right now don't really need to go through all that.
We don't need that, but it would have been if I was doing a dissertation.
Yes.
If I was going to be giving some kind of presentation or having to talk for a much longer period of time about how important this character is, then yes, more context would have been lovely.
But in this case, it actually feels a little bit more like how I think you're going to remember it. Like if you were to sit there and try to remember how her story played out,
yes,
this would be way closer to it. It is funny that some of like the nice poetic beats that were in the original edit had to be ruined by me putting in the additional episodes that they added.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, I don't want to say ruined in a true sense, but there is that moment where, you know, River's like, you're acting like we've never kissed before. And the 11th Doctor's like, we haven't, but you know, first time for everything. She goes, and a last, and then cut to, we're on Beryllium for 24 years, but we can't kiss a single time.
Yeah. They kissed
because otherwise we ruin the poetry of your moment in prison.
I mean, they kiss in the same way that cats do. They just long blink at each other. They hold hands.
They put a hand in front of each other's mouths and kiss their hands.
Yeah. Her saying, fuck, I already said something really poetic.
I have to hold on to that for 24 years. I'm sorry, honey.
It's a bit.
But even then, there was also the other part where at the end of The Name of the Doctor, where she's like, I was like, the first time and the last time. She's like, oh no, he kissed my computer brain, my projected computer brain that only he can see. Mm-hmm.
Which I had forgotten about that entirely.
Yeah, which is funny because I remember you having a real emotional response to him being like, you're always around for me. I can always see you. You're like,
Zach, I also need you to remember, I forget things so I can make room for new things. If I held on to every experience, I would be a puddle. I had one single teacher once say, don't hold on, or because she had given me a compliment. Mm-hmm. She had said something. This teacher didn't say nice things to people very often. She didn't like to pay compliments. I had done something she liked and she paid me a compliment. And I felt really good about it. And I had asked her later on, like, do you remember what you said? Because I am having a hard time remembering. And she went, that's actually kind of a good thing. You hold on to that good feeling, but it's like,
it doesn't do to dwell on dreams.
Yeah, basically, it doesn't do to dwell on these specific words that people have said. Feelings last much longer. Mm-hmm. Hold on to that, which I think was her way of saying, I also forgot. But I internalize that as, aha, remember the way things feel. Which also, for me, translates to, it's okay if you forget shit because you have ADHD.
Well, I was going to say, I try to get back to this. I do feel like that's the best takeaway for the River Song story as a viewer is that because she's not the main character, she is just this really nice through line that goes through several seasons of the show.
An impactful character.
Yeah, that she is best remembered as a good feeling, especially because like sometimes you get things that were a little like
that would suck though. Like I'm just. Yeah, their character, nah, but they felt really good when they were around, didn't it? Well, too bad they're gone forever.
Well, it's like a friend. a friend that moved away or something, where it's just like, man, it's a bummer, but you know, I have good memories.
I suppose.
Because
Don't cry because it's over. Cry because it happened. Like it's whatever. There's other idioms.
I also really like that canonically her last words in existence were "goodbye, sweetie."
Or spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers when she was alive, and then when she was this computer brain projected, she tells the doctor goodbye, sweetie.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was very sweet, and that was like, that's where I want to end it. I don't have a good way to like fade this out here, but I'll just let it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like seeing the story from her perspective, because you do get the one thing that you really get having seen the story in this order is the moment where she's like, and then I got to the day the doctor didn't recognize me anymore.
Yeah.
And because, you know, David Tennant genuinely had not had any interaction with her before, he just gets to play it like, who are you?
Yeah.
I don't like, he doesn't. And it's so genuine that it is kind of like, oh, that's actually genuinely really heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing through all the stuff they went through and seeing a lot of it.
Knowing and now having the context of, for River, she spent not the last 24, but we'll just say the past 30 years of River's life up until that very point, a good portion of it was spent with
him,
with the doctor.
Yeah.
Not this face, but with the doctor.
Yeah. It's also important to look at this and see and know that River's entire life has been about the doctor. From the moment she was born, she was raised to be an assassin to kill him.
Yes.
And the second she decided to stop trying to kill him, she instead fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And so like it's funny how her entire existence defies the Bechdel test. She is so extremely like dedicated to this one guy's existence. I mean, she does go on and have her own like archaeology experiments, and
she is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they only live together during that night on Beryllium. But it is very much like her life has been dedicated to this man. And then suddenly she gets to the end of her life and that guy doesn't even know who she is.
Ouch. I mean, again, I'd made this comparison before when talking about the doctor and Clara and how the doctor remembers Clara as being somebody he really cared about, but he doesn't remember her. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that feeling would then echo and be the same for River, of looking at this man that she knows and holds very dear to her, but having him look right through her and say, who are you? I don't know who you are. Like that relationship that she has with the doctor and having it is somebody that she knows and loves and cares about very deeply, but he doesn't know her.
Yeah, I had debated on, instead of doing this, us rewatching that two-parter, the Silence in the Library two-parter, partly because it's still two of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
But also just because I wanted to see if it was going to get a different reaction out of, you know, that you've
just
seen
makes me sad.
Yeah.
Just makes me so sad.
There's a part of it's also like, that's so much sweeter now, having seen the full story and hearing when David Tennant realizes that he's got like this moment, this like sliver of chance to save her, that as he's running through the library, he says, "One last run, you and me." And that's so sweet. Like, this man doesn't know her, but he knows how important she is to who he will be. And so owing it to her and to his future self, he like casts aside all like logic in that moment and just feels.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
He is guided by his feet and his heart.
His ability to jump over a book cart.
With his gangly limbs.
His gangly limbs and sand shoes. It also is nice seeing some of those moments that were deliberately written to be like one right after the other connected.
Yeah.
Like that part where she like teleports away from the Byzantium and then suddenly she teleports into Amy and Rory's backyard dressed in the same outfit. Like, yeah, we were just hanging out. You were so young then. You didn't even recognize who I was. It's also, that's especially a funny line, knowing that was the first episode that Karen Gillan recorded for Doctor Who. So she really was so young then. That was the youngest she had ever been on the show. Let's see. What else?
I'm just thinking. My notes are not very helpful.
I did, speaking personally, I really liked trying to find a way to edit, because for those of you, obviously none of you can watch this, but all I added from The Angels Take Manhattan is the end scene where Amy gets teleported away by the Weeping Angel, and I had to find a way to make it seem like that scene was still about River Song. And so that's why the line it opens with is Melody, come here, you watch after him, you be a good girl. And then they say goodbye, but the last shot we see is of River before I had it fade to white.
Yeah.
It is also another kind of funny thing where the transition that's supposed to be there is, I knew a much worse day for me was coming the last time I saw the doctor. But because of my edit, it's, I knew there was a much worse day coming, the day my parents went back in time.
I mean,
it still works.
It still works. And in that, I also kind of forgot that there were so many episodes between River, Amy, and Rory. Because I remember Amy and Rory getting shot back in time.
Yeah. You forgot River was there.
Yeah. Didn't forget about Arthur, though. Poor Arthur. Watering the plants and minding his own business.
And then his grandson, who's older than him, shows up.
Yeah, he's got to learn the hard way that his son is dead.
One that really, like, I have to remember a lot is Mel's, that, like, in between character.
Yes.
That, you know, when Melody's like, I'm going to pretend to be Amy's best friend for like 15 years until the doctor shows up, and then I can smooch him to death. Because they really cut out a lot of the like River Song checking herself out in that sequence.
Good.
Right up, like, even before it happens, when Mel's is regenerating into River, Mel's is saying like, shut up, Dad, I'm focusing on a dress size. And I'm like, I don't know why they didn't keep that line in. Did it feel weird? Did it feel weird in hindsight?
Because that was another thing I had forgotten too, is that she did have regeneration magic.
Yeah, that Melody Pond was named after Mel's, who was also Melody Pond because Stephen Moffat likes to do time loops. He likes to find weird, silly little time loops. Which, you know, I will say, in some ways it's good writing. In some ways, after you do it enough times, it starts to get a little
redundant.
It's a little redundant. It's a little you should have some more tools. You should get some more tools. It was really nice getting to revisit all of these little stories because especially because it spans such a long time, and they're not all like right in a row. That there is sort of a like, oh right, this happened. Like and I will say part of it I think is because 11 is still my favorite Doctor. That it is just so much like, oh, it's like going through a little trip through my favorite time of the show. And then at the end it's Davy Tennant, and it's one of my favorite episodes of his run on the show. It's just all stuff I like. Yay.
It's just you kicking your
Oh
little
boy,
feet.
2 cakes.
And I get to eat them both. Yay. I will say I didn't notice at all where you had added stuff. Granted, I haven't seen this, so I just get to be.
I mean, that's nice to know, because I listened to them like, oh, those edits felt a little choppy on a big screen to me, but I'm also an editor.
Now, I will say, because of you, there are times now where I'm watching like any of those true crime based off of reality, not reality TV in the sense that it's like my other trash, but the ones where it's somebody talking about somebody that was murdered or killed, but you can very clearly hear where they've spliced audio.
Yeah, I will say I specifically made some crossfades in the audio so it wasn't quite as obvious.
But because of you now, anytime I hear spliced audio, I just go, fuck, I used to be able to ignore that. No, I can't.
There's a hard cut in there now and I don't like it.
There was one, it was so bad because they took slivers from like 4 or 5 different segments, and it was basically every word. It was as if that sentence that they wanted didn't exist, so they just pieced it together, like that episode in Futurama where Fry is gone, and so Bender weaves together their like outgoing message to say, Bender, I'll love you. Oh, I love you too, buddy. Because the original message is like, if you can't, if we're not answering the phone, it's because we're at the Olive Garden. Anyways, What are we talking about?
The only thing that I really like felt nice about editing was taking that speech of her, like, the last time you showed up on my doorstep, and I get to throw in some clips of Capaldi.
Yeah.
I thought that's sort of like, that's really sweet. It didn't, I don't know. I know that it wasn't intended.
Do you think that when Moffat was writing that speech, he was already planning ahead? Planning, knowing full well, like, there's a good chance that whenever I tie up this story, there will be somebody new being the Doctor.
I would say I don't think he did it when he was writing that monologue. I think he wanted to bring that monologue back when he wrote the episode. Because there's even a part in the episode where she says, like, you've turned up on my doorstep. And then he's like, well, I got a new haircut. There are moments that call back to it, but I believe
he wrote the monologue first and then had the thought of, I can plug this in other places in the future.
Especially because, like, there were, like, that episode, the one that we ended here in this compilation where in The Name of the Doctor, where she's projecting herself from the library, that also feels like a really definitive end to that character.
Yes.
And so I would bet anything that Stephen Moffat did not plan on returning to River Song until he had the idea to go back and show that moment from the monologue.
Yeah. I don't think that I would go so far as to say that the Doctor is a wife guy.
Well, especially because they don't spend so little of their time actively together.
But it is the specificity of the very end of River's story. The Doctor does everything he can to make sure that the ending of their story is not one that is heartbreak and sadness in the same way that it was at the beginning of that particular episode. Mm-hmm. River is devastated that she is irrevocably in love with a man that she doesn't think has got her back and is not there for her. Mm-hmm. To then have it end with him finding a place where they can be together for a quarter of a century. Mm-hmm. That is so romantic. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous.
It turns out the sunset admires her back.
Ugh.
I wish I could have found a place to splice that monologue back in here because I like it so much. But it's this is a very sweet story. I like seeing. I like these little reminders to, like, show, for no other reason, it shows you that there was real intent put behind every time she showed up.
There was so much thought and care put into every single story that River was present in. Yeah,
because the only thing that really got overridden in all of this was that, like, first kiss, his first kiss is her last kiss beat. Mm-hmm. But the times that they undo it are better stories than that poetic ending. Like, that poetic ending is nice, but the Doctor giving her a very passionate kiss after saying, like, you're always here to me. I can always see you and hear you. Or when the Doctor's like, we're going to spend 24 years together after you lost faith in our relationship.
Yeah, after you thought that I didn't care.
Yeah, after you thought that I did not care about you, I'm going to prove it to you in a way that only I can.
Yes.
That's, to me, like, those are better story beats than that poetic twist.
Overall, what a happier, sappier ending.
Yeah. And I do think that is, if I'm going to put my teacher hat on for a second here, that to me is such a good way to understand the cost benefit analysis of storytelling.
Can you elaborate?
So what I mean by that is they had written that beat years, like, I think that was series 5 where that, like, first kiss
is my last
kiss. Yeah. They had written that moment in series 5. And, you know, when he wrote it, I'm sure he was like, that's going to be, like, I'm going to stick with that. Mm-hmm. And then he wrote more of it. But undoing that, but then doing so, he found a way to give that moment more meaning, because, you know, if you take that as writ, that was the last kiss they'd had until Peter Capaldi's episode. Mm-hmm. No fucking wonder she thought he stopped caring, because they go.
Was that? Wait, was that
because
Matt Smith's Doctor's last? Like,
because I don't believe
kiss with her.
I don't believe they kiss in the Take Manhattan episode. I don't think they do that. Like, there's a nice moment in it where she has cut her hand or she's broken her wrist and the doctor spends some regeneration energy to heal her wrist. But I don't think they ever kiss. In fact, in that episode, she slaps him.
Yeah.
So I genuinely think there's a part of her where it's like, I don't think they kiss again
Until Capaldi.
Until Capaldi, at least from her timeline.
But, and especially since we do know from the beginning of, or not the beginning, but in Husbands of River Song, she has a documentation, and we even have the context for it in their very first, her last meeting, his first, that she has documentation of all the faces he's used before.
All of his faces. She's also been remarried a couple of times, both to men and women. So she's got some jaded love history. She hasn't kissed the doctor in it's got to be decades at that point.
Yeah.
So like, if you really think about it, like it absolutely, like you you took that moment that meant something poetic, and then you turned it and made it something that meant for character. Where like you took the cost, like I said, the cost is that poetic moment doesn't mean the same thing anymore. But the benefit is we have now given this story a much, as you described it, happier, sappier ending, where because that was the last kiss for such a long time that River had accepted that as being the last one, it had like morphed into this mentality of the doctor doesn't love me. I love him, but he doesn't love me back.
It's like in Inside Out, how memories over time can turn into mixed memories.
Yeah. So I think that's...
It's just a mixed... It is still poetic, but now it is not... It's not that romantic, like, oh, how sad. It's a even worse, even more upsetting, like, oh, that's almost devastating. It's no more... It's not just sad and romantic, it's... devastating and heartbreaking.
So I
which
think,
then makes her monologue even more sad and devastating.
Yeah, well, because then there's like a whole new like emotional nuance to her. Like, don't erase those times, not don't erase a line of them, because that includes the however many decades she spent thinking that he didn't love her.
Yeah,
like she's like, don't erase a line of it, don't you dare. Especially not the last 24 years of us boinking on the singing tower planet. There is a special like Alex Kingston performing that monologue was always great.
Yeah.
There is a new level of knowing that she like was there, felt like started off hating him, came back to loving him, fell into this like despair of sorts, and then came back again. That she's now at this point where she's like, up until the moment of her death, from that moment of Capaldi like telling her 24 years to the moment she died, she purely loved him.
The moment she entered the library, which also, I don't know if it was also just a happy coincidence. I do really love that the first time we're meeting River Song is in a white spacesuit apparatus. Because that's just kind of a theme for her, to be in a white spacesuit apparatus.
Yeah, a white spacesuit or a very glamorous dress.
Yeah. No in between.
She, another thing that's also, worth noting about that, like, don't erase those times, not one line, is that, if the doctor erases himself from existence in that moment, she would just become Melody Pond.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a River Song. She would have just grown up a normal child in a normal life. Amy and Rory would have grown up normal people in normal lives.
Realistically, they probably wouldn't be together.
Well, no, because they were going to get married before the doctor picked her up.
Yeah, but they did not, like, they were going to get married, but they didn't, like, fall in love until later.
Yeah, Amy was not feeling it until later. But even then, but just moreover, it's just, like, she is saying, like, I am willing to sacrifice the idea of a normal life, the idea of all of these. I'm willing to sacrifice my parents growing up in the time they were born in. I personally am willing to sacrifice all of these things in exchange for keeping you going, for having our story be what it was.
Do you think she just stopped writing in her diary for 24 years?
I mean, it depends on how repetitive the days were.
Yeah.
Dear diary, we tried position 147 again.
but this time with implements.
It also is really nice seeing the doctor gets two of these moments on her at the end of her life. The one where she's convinced that he doesn't love her. And then he turns and realizes that he's standing right next to her. And then this other one where she thinks that he can't see her and he can. Mm-hmm. Like there's a part of it where it's like, it's a little cheeky by half that they keep having these moments.
Oh, it's okay.
Where like the doctor's just a little bit smarter than she is, but only in ways that are romantic.
Yeah.
Just that's a very man's idea of how to be romantic, which is still one-upping your wife.
Is it wrong?
I don't think it is. Maybe that's why they couldn't bring Jodie in, because they didn't know how they were going to write that.
It's just River and Jodie fighting all the time.
I like the idea of them doing an episode, of them doing one with her that was called The Wives of River Song. I'm
very curious because there are earnestly times where I have looked up Doctor Who fanfics. It is something where there are so many, and I'm so picky about what I'm reading, because if it is not good writing, I don't want to read it.
And you got to be, it's not just like good writing, you got to be careful about avoiding spoilers.
Yeah, for real. So I do have to pick ones. I'll usually, if I'm looking, we'll look at things that are published only until like the date that we are in the show. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I can look at things that were published anywhere between 2010 and 2015.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a pretty safe realm to stay in.
Yeah.
So because they wouldn't know anything else either.
No.
But I am looking forward to us taking a little break from the regular show here.
Whoa!
Not that regular show. But we're gonna do some we are gonna do a classic episode here, but we're really gonna be taking a pit stop into a bunch of stuff that even I don't really know about.
Is it the summer of sequels?
We are doing the summer of spinoffs.
Summer.
But the first thing we're gonna do before we do any of that is I'm gonna give you a little treat, Cassie.
Is a
treat because
pardon me?
I know how much you love River Song, and you got to be upset that we're not going to see any more of her. So I figure we should go take a little visit to your favorite part of the show. You gonna say what it is, or
I'm trying to figure out what part it might be. Are we doing a canine?
We are, in fact, doing a canine episode. In fact, we're doing a little bit of canine across the board here because
amaze.
Because the next episode we're going to watch is a classic episode that seems to be his best, canine's like favorite, like the favorite canine.
Canine's favorite
episode. No, the favorite canine episode is a silly one called The Pirate Planet.
Oh. Can I tell you, I've been looking for that particular one on VHS for several months now.
Yeah, we're going to watch that one. And then the first Doctor Who spinoff ever was an unsuccessful show.
Yeah.
That only went to a pilot called Canine and Company.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's an Australian canine show that seems to be unrelated to Doctor Who, but we're counting it. We're going to have to find out what episodes of that we're going to watch on the next episodes of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my dog? Hey, since we're at the end of River's story, what kind of dog is River's Song?
God, I think she's a poodle.
No, well,
because she got the hair.
Poodles are very smart, but River is
very smart, very flashy. You can find them in a lot of like rhinestones and gems.
River is very like stinky though. Like cheeky. She's clever. I don't know if poodles are clever enough though.
I'm trying to think what's the dog that Lady is in Lady and the Tramp?
No, she's not, because those dogs are bred for like those are lap dogs. It's a cat, or Lady is either a Cocker Spaniel or a Cavalier.
She's an archaeologist, so it's gotta be a dog that digs.
Yes. Perhaps poodle because of the hair.
I mean, it's definitely like a poodle mix. Like she's definitely not pure poodle.
No, and not a doodle either. Did you know that the creator of Doodles has revoked?
You doodle.
He's said like that was a mistake making them as popular as we did because
What, are Doodles Doberman poodles?
no, Doodles are Labrador retrievers mixed with poodles.
Oh, okay.
And what a lot of people don't know when they get Doodles.
Oh, so Labradoodles, what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a lot of people don't understand when they get Labradoodles is how much hair they have and how much maintenance they are. And because they're a mix of two very intelligent dog breeds, you have to be willing to train and work with them, or else they do get up to no good. So maybe she is a Labradoodle.
Maybe she is. I think she's a bit of a like she could easily like, especially because River could easily be like just a very smart, intelligent woman, or she could be a murderer. And I think that's I think it's got Labradoodle down. I think she's a Labradoodle.
She might be a Labradoodle.
Have we done Capaldi's Who Is My Doctor? Do we want to do that?
I don't think we have, because when I remembered this bit, it was still very new, and you were like, give it time to think. Give yourself time to consider. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we have done.
Do we want to do that now, or do you want to try and do it next season? Because next season, we have to do it next season, because next season's his last one. Are you prepared to lock in your answer for him is the real question.
No, I'm not. Well, because I hate to say the same thing as I have for other. I think I said it for 9 as well. Of I don't know that he is a dog. I think he might be a cat.
Well, I do think that it might be worth doing the thing, because I think that Capaldi, he doesn't change dramatically, but I do think there's a different flavor that you see him with when you see him with his new companions. Okay. So maybe we need to see him with different owners before we know what kind of dog he is. So I guess we'll have to figure all that out. Yeah. In a future episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. Goodbye, sweeties.
Good night. Spoilers.
Hey there, everybody. I hope you enjoyed another episode of the show. If any of you are interested in checking out my recut of the original Doctor Who Confidential segment, I have posted it over on our Patreon as a free viewing. It doesn't cost you a thing. You just head on over to patreon.com/whoismydoctor, and you should be able to watch it right now. But if you are interested in supporting us, for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to episodes of this show a whole week early. Special thanks, as always, to our Big Daddy Dalek patrons, Andrew Blewett, David Gansel, Travis Aiken, and Daniel Lindgren. And next week, we're going plundering for planets as we watch The Pirate Planet. So I'll see you whatever day this week is Who's Day, because due to some scheduling issues, it can't be done by Tuesdays, but I'll have it to you as quickly as possible, I promise.